We're now live streaming on YouTube Live. Okay, it worked. For some reason that worked. For some reason.
We're live?
Live stream is offline, but now it might not be. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Let me tweet out, and then we'll get this buddy boy going.
Cool.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Let me.
It's me and you.
It's me and you.
Man, now I have to not look like I'm pissed off all the time.
Well, that's gonna be hard for you, buddy.
Because we were sitting at dinner the other day, and my mom pulled me off to the side. I was like, "Why are you glaring at Josh?" And I was like, "I'm not. That's just my face, Mom."
That's how I always look.
Got that RB going.
Waiting for mix.
Mix.
We need to do the here YouTube. Sorry, we don't. Well, there's no one watching, so.
Sorry to us.
Sorry to us. If someone looks back and then they're like, "Oh no, you guys are big dumb." There's no one watching, so.
Sorry to us.
Sorry to us. If someone looks back and then they're like, "Oh no, you guys are."
Fun one.
Control V. So I was.
Sorry to us. Sorry to us.
If someone normal formula, and just don't worry about the story and just kind of do the.
Yeah.
If we want to ask questions, if someone winds up commenting, hey, we are live on YouTube. Check us out at. Feel free to ask us questions. Feel free to chat with us live, like right now. Hey, that's pretty cool. If I can spell pretty right.
That's pretty cool.
Let's tag some people. HLG at the fat, or is it just Fat Hobbit? Fat Hobbit.
Who's the Fat Hobbit?
At Fat Hobbit.
At Wendy's.
Oh, at Wendy's Canada. At Wendy's Canada. Tweet.
Maybe Canadian Wendy's.
Get that boy up. Get that boy up. Let's make sure that the thing is good.
Oh man.
Yeah. Wendy's Canada. Yeah, we're cool. All right.
I mean, we're not cool, but
all
we're
right.
good.
We have one person. Oh, that was probably me.
Yeah, you're watching yourself.
I was.
You done played yourself.
I done goofed.
You did that when we did the
I
Dread
done
live
goofed
stream,
up
too.
myself.
All right.
Always be checking this.
Yes.
That is
forever and always.
priority number one.
Numero uno.
We will keep live chat up. I will. I should. Oh, I'm gonna Facebook that.
Facebook.
Just cause, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just cause yes.
Because why not yes?
Because why not
Always
yes?
yes, never know.
Is there any good boys that you wanted to tweet at? Do you know, or did we get all the important ones?
I think we did. Candy Kingpin. He
That's
still
true.
hasn't. We still don't know where he is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How about I
Candy Kingpin Watch 2017 still.
copy? That's still happening. It's almost 2018. We almost are entering Candy Kingpin Watch 2018. There might be
that's
one
gonna be a
person
running
watching.
joke.
Yeah, just that he never shows
Like,
up.
where were you? He entered and won a contest and then just decided that was it for him. He peaked early.
I guess. We are live on YouTube. Check us out.
Yo.
Check us out. Ask us questions. Do stuff. Post. I'm pretty coherent. That's for sure. There might be one person, because it hasn't changed.
Is it the actual computer?
It
Hello,
is.
person.
If
Who are
they're
you?
watching.
Can you click on it? See who it is?
I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that. I don't think that's a thing that happens.
Maybe I can look on my phone.
Nope, you can't really see who it is. If they decide to talk to us, then we'll know. Hey, it's Quinn Morkey. Where's my episode? Hey! Where is his episode? Quinn is asking where his episode is.
You see...
Let's just lie to him. I forgot to mute my mic. Do you want to tell him?
You got it.
Thanks.
You're more
Thanks for leaving me out to dry. Okay, here it goes, buddy. This is all for you, Quinn. There are 2 people watching.
Yeah.
We recorded with you, had a great time, had a blast. We were pumped. We're like, oh, we finally got our boss on the show. It's going to be great. Then my computer crashed halfway through. You'll remember that. The live stream didn't go up. He's doing a bunch of ... Yeah, the live stream didn't go up. And then our half of the audio was awful. Like corrupt. It was like hyper compressed. So I think there was some type of corruption in the raw audio files. We kind of explained that in today's episode because it was such a big goof on our part, and there's some funny music in the background to accentuate our goof. But it was not because we didn't like having you. It was because
the audio quality.
It was a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
So this was I wasn't expecting you to listen on this one. Happy Dingus Day, everyone.
Happy Dingus Day.
This will be this episode will air the day. Oh, here. Well, let's just kind of boom, get started. This is where the episode's going to begin.
All right.
And then you have ruined my Dingus Day. That's what he says. Let me make sure Audacity's working. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. We will have you on the show here in the future and not mess it up because we are learning how to live stream better. That's what we're doing this for. So we love you so much. Please let us still be part of the company. We are amateur podcasters, so this is par for the course. True, yeah. All right,
Andrew.
Oh, we are switching. That's where it's starting today, buddy. Hey,
Andrew Horn. No, God, I can't even say your name right.
No. Pendragon. Yeah. This is we are live streaming right now, but this episode's going to air the Tuesday before Dingus Day. So in light of that, whenever you listen to this edited episode, happy Dingus Day.
Happy Dingus Day to all you guys out there. All you listeners.
Let's talk about, real quick, why this is not what we expected Dingus Day would be. And hash that out, because it's a little disappointing.
A little bit, yeah. We were hoping to get a little bit more community feedback from you guys. And, we passed you guys the ball, and y'all immediately dropped it, kicked it out of bounds, burnt down the sports ball building, and proceeded to salt the ground.
Yeah.
So
we're not saying it's all your fault, but we're saying, hey, where is everything?
We see you guys.
We see you.
We asked for some help doing a little bit of like a group project, and we showed up to class. We brought the poster board, but there's no information on it.
Yeah, they forgot to bring the Elmer's glue to stick all the 1 to 5 minute audio clips on. But I'm not salty about that because I'm in too chipper of a mood because of Dingus Day. I really hate Christmas in general, but hey, Dingus Day, that's right up my alley, buddy boy. So we thought, how about we just kick back? We sit beside a Yule log. I don't know what else you can do with a Yule log. I will definitely sit beside one. I am going to have a Cider Boys Grand Mimosa, and you're going to have some
allergies
bread that you can't eat. Yeah, how about we just kick back, buddy? How about we think about that story later and just kind of have a good old Dingus Day chat. Just reminisce about all the things that's happened this past year. There's been a lot on this podcast, and I want to... Maybe if we get some questions, we'll answer those. Maybe if you have any burning ones, we'll get to that. But I want to start off, man. What's been your favorite role-playing thing this year? Favorite thing? Top one. So basically, what is your favorite
my
thing?
favorite, all right, my favorite roleplay thing so far this year.
You can include October.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit, like, gratuitous to select the thing that I did.
I don't think that's not like fallacious at all. No.
That was enjoyable. I did enjoy running that. Obviously, you challenged me because initially I had prepared for just me and Andrew to run a one-on-one game of Dread, and about a week and a half before we do it,
it was like a week. I'm pretty sure it's exactly a week.
Yeah,
you need to give yourself some credit.
He's like, "Hey, no, let's add more people. Let's add 2 more people.
Yeah.
Let's 200% this bad boy."
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of fun in that week of scrambling to see if the story I had written worked, which it didn't. But I have it obviously saved now for a future time that we can do.
Posterity.
But yeah, that had to be fun because it challenged me to, in a week, come up with something that I thought could be, scary, kind of in the spooky mood, to really, create a world in a week. That was... that was tough, but a lot of fun. It was challenging. It's always fun to challenge yourself as a world builder.
Yeah, and you went, and you didn't just shirk by. Like, you went the extra mile on a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, I think the reason it turned out so well is because I did isolate myself for a solid 6 or 7 days to just get this done. You know, it's that lock yourself in the closet moment until you come out with what you want.
Yeah, I don't eat. I don't eat until it's done. I've done those before.
Yeah, you gotta set your boundaries. Like, hey, I gotta meet these goals.
Yeah.
Or, I gotta skip out.
It's like, hey, buddy, if you don't want to be dead, you'll help me here.
Come on, fingers, think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun doing that. What about you, man? What has been your highlight?
Experience?
I'm gonna give you a little broader. What's your top 2?
Top 2. Oh, golly gee. Well, first, I do want to comment and say that I knew you were up to the October task, and that's why I kind of laid it on you, because I feel like it was a better experience having more personalities than just us on the show, and I really wanted that, and I knew that you'd be hesitant about it. So I was like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm going to kind of really, really nudge you and maybe start inviting people. And you killed it. You crushed it. And I think that it wouldn't have been as aroused. I think a little bit of that nervous energy that you had contributed to how well thought out it was. So my hat is literally off to you. It was real good.
Yeah.
So am I allowed to say October 2, or do I have to think of something else?
At least think of one
other thing. Yeah. That would be really boring. That exact same thing that you said was fun. October was really good. I want that to be in my top 2.
Okay.
So I will speak on that first since we're already talking about it. October was good because I liked to take the back seat on something, because I was really worried about how you were handling it, because I know that I thrusted a lot of onto you all at once, and so the GM in me that kind of helped the other GMs was real. I gotta help him, but I'm like, I can't. I literally can't help him on this. But then you pulled through with something real crazy, and it was real fun. And I liked getting to take the back seat on I haven't role played as a player in a long time, and I forgot how fun it was to try and to interact with the world from the standpoint of I'm discovering it instead of I already know what's up here. Right. I have to show you. It was fun being able to receive, and I forgot how fun it was. I had PC'd in the past with a friend of ours, and it just at first I was like, nah, I don't like PCing, but I think it was more of a maybe the DM wasn't as prepared and stuff, but it reignited my I really like PCing. I liked being a character, one character, and really having to devote myself to that. That was fun. October was great. It was a good learning experience, I think, on both our parts, and it was fun. It was way too fun, and we will for sure do it again. or something in that vein. Second favorite role-playing experience. That's hard. Because now I have to be like... You said it was kind of fallacious to like say, oh, I want to do something. Now I have to think through everything I've done this past year because I'm the DM.
Yeah.
My favorite thing... I don't know if it's my favorite, but my most memorable moment was in the Brackish Legacy, and I'll kind of give some detail just because we can do that on this episode. So basically, I've been thinking about typing up a thing for the Brackish Legacy, like a brief storyline for people to follow, and like maybe trying to get that out there on the interwebs, and just like here, if you want to play with these ideas, you can. But basically, the deal was, the king was assassinated by a mage, and the king and the queen, after their son died, their firstborn, and the kingdom kind of fell into disarray because their second kid, their daughter, had to run the kingdom from like the age of like 10, and when we start the story, she's like 13, 14. And basically, a lot of the beginning of the story focused on her and like helping her, because while she is actually doing very well for a 13-year-old queen, she's also a 13-year-old and like can't, by no means should be running a kingdom. So the PCs kind of helped her out. Met some fun guys. Met Hans. Met what's his face? He always wanted to sell something. He's the guy that the Tower of Trials guy.
Oh,
I keep on wanting to say Penny Bottom, but that was not his name.
it was
It's like, oh, to give you whatever.
Parchment.
Peter Parchment. Yeah, fun boys like that. But then the real story was about the prince, the little boy who's like 9, and turns out he was an upcoming wizard, even though magic is kind of not super great because the king got killed by a mage, and then his mentor is actually the guy that assassinated the king. And there's a moment, like the whole campaign, there's this loose thread running through it that like, and so that you guys could adventure and could have fun and stuff like that. There's this loose thread of it feels like we're going to wind up taking this prince to this big tournament, the Arcana Tournamenti. It's the Tri-Wizard tournament of my world, basically. It's like, let's find out who the best like prospective wizard is. And there's a moment where I got to play some music that I made. Like, I scored it, and it's right before Hugo was a prince. It's right before he's going out for the last leg of the tournament to decide if he's like won or not, because he made it really far, and he knows of this secret plan to fake his death, and he knows how hard it's going to hit you guys, and he's having second thoughts about going through with it, and he's about to walk out into the tournament field, and he's talking to you guys, and he's like, we've just been friends for so long, and I just, once this is over with and our journey's done, like our adventure's done, I don't want the adventure to be over. And like I got to play this like kind of sappy, like sad music behind it, and then all of you, like, you rallied, and you're like, as like your characters are like, no, we'll always be friends, and like we're always gonna, and like this is what this should be. Like it's probably one of my most memorable moments of like all the problems that you guys had as like characters were like really null whenever it came to like helping out this kid who's just trying to like, I mean, it's a story of like, he's just trying to live his dream. Like that is the end, like the end of this basically. But like, you guys all like getting together and like working out your problems and like teamwork and stuff. It was great. It was freaking great. I loved that so much. That's probably like one of my most memorable moments as a DM, was seeing all my players play nice and get really attached to the characters, and I'll stop talking, I promise. But the hard decision that you guys had to make with Hans was another really good one. That wasn't accentuated that well at all. Like it was just like, do we leave him here? Do we not leave him here? And no matter what you choose, like one of these beloved characters of yours was gonna die. So it's like you could pick to save Hans, but then Spud would die, his dog. or you can pick Spud, and then Hans dies, and he winds up you guys letting he's sick and gonna be a evil creature, and he thinks he's gonna kill himself before that happens to him, kind of like a mercy killing, and you guys wind up deciding to like, this is your call, buddy. And it was cool watching you guys make like a kind of it has real life implications in a way, but like having you guys like make that decision and still just like that you made that decision was cool. It was like a real moment in that campaign that had a bunch of goofiness in it. Anyways, yeah, that was mine. I talked too long like I always do, but I like that a whole lot. And October was great. So, let's see what I got something on Facebook. I don't know if it's related to this at all, but I can see it might be. Nope. So someone posted on High Level Games like it might be me. So do you have any questions? It looks like you were trolling around on your phone.
Yeah, man.
Do you have a question? Yeah, we'll answer it.
I got a question that we're going to answer, and then I'm going to pull an Andrew and off this
question.
question.
Hey!
All right. Martin's 92 is having trouble deciding what class he wants to play. As mentioned in the title, I've been having trouble deciding on what class to play. I'll be starting a new campaign on Sunday, and the group will include 3 to 6 players plus the GM, and some people will not always be available. The group includes a druid, a cleric, a blood rager, a ranger, and a rogue. Now, I've always played a paladin or a fighter, but I wanted to change things up a bit, try either a wizard or a sorcerer this time, but our group doesn't really have a high AC type of character. Basically, I'm trying to get other people's opinions on what I should play. If I should go with the tank type character, or if I should go hybrid class, magus, multi-class with fighter and sorcerer, or go wizard or sorcerer anyway. And honestly, my opinion is, don't, overthink this. Like, play what you want to play.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if your party isn't completely rounded out, doesn't have a tank to take a bunch of hits and not
Me
get
and my
hit.
wife were literally just talking about this.
You don't want that. You don't want, we can beat anything that comes against us because we have this thing. You want those faults in your party. You want to have those areas where you have to band together to be stronger in the situation and fight through it. All of you guys are, like on low health. What are we going to do? We have to start being, what's the word? Ingenuity. What's the adverb? Ingenuitous.
Yeah.
To try and overcome these things. Because just like in our current campaign, my character's almost died so many times. Yaqui is this wizard who he started out with 21 health at level 3. Yeah. And his roll dice is a D6. So it's not good at all. And so the whole campaign I already know I'm gonna be fighting with this, but I don't care because that's kind of who he is. He's an old man too. He's 90 years old. Yeah, but he's real. We had a moment.
He's
where...
a lot less feeble than you think he would be. But
he's feeble.
He does have his moments.
There was a moment where I was down to 2 health. I had a conjured ape with me fighting one of your hunters, and I was like, I can either stand and fight or try and figure out how in the heck I'm going to get out of here. And so at that part of the story, I'd been separated from the group. And so he went to the other 2 players. And while they were doing the thing, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, what is Yaqui going to do? Is he more concerned with his own survival or with whatever this guy is doing? And I kind of came to a crossroads, and I found a little middle path of, I'm going to get out of here and get back in a defensive position for when this guy comes later. Yeah. And so I just learned to spell that because we had just leveled up the session before or something like that, and I had a spell Ash Cloud that I'd never used before. Yeah. And so I casted Ash Cloud and just got the heck out of dodge because it was just man, having to, I have my AC is 10. Yeah. If I cast Mage Armor, I get +4, so it's a 14. Yeah. I get hit all the freaking time. And so that even comes into play with trying to interact with the world and saying, I'm behind a building. I still want a point of view, but I want to be behind cover and stuff like that. Because even in our last session, there was a lot of that. And it's just...
Yaqui plays a very, it's a weird mixture between, normally... He has a weird spotlight, and it's normally not center stage. He has a spotlight, but it's behind the curtain on the stage, and he's eating dried corn husks and stuff like that. It's just freaking weird.
Yeah, and so like having to work around your weaknesses is what helps you get a more like fully thought out character, because you have to learn how to play with that. You know, just kind of like, I don't know, like I was about to say a sports metaphor, but I'm sure no one here wants a sports metaphor. But you have to learn how to do that kind of thing, and that's what's going to help give your party goofs and gaffs and good times and bad times, and that's what makes a campaign is when you can hit all of those different kinds of times. The good ones, the bad ones, the funny ones, the stale ones. Yeah. You want that to happen throughout your campaign. You don't just want to be like rolling into town like, oh, whatever, bam, we're done, we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big monster. Oh, throw the big guy. He'll take some damage. We'll attack it from the side. Like I don't know. That would just get boring to me. I'm also not a number cruncher or a min-maxer, but I don't know. I feel like if you want to play the sorcerer wizard, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I played a campaign with 3 rangers before, and I mean, we killed everything before it even saw us. But I mean, it was still like it was an interesting dynamic because we didn't have any spells yet, and we came across an ooze that was immune to like physical attacks. You had to no, it was a ghost. It was like some type of spirit, and we was just like. You know, like we've just ganked everything we've come across from like 60 feet away every single time we meet something, and it is a single ghost that's really, really weak, but it's gonna probably kill us because we can't do anything about it. That's my wife was just saying that she had fun in the last session that we did, because she's like, I feel like I've been trying to play this character really like put together, like she knows what she's doing, but she's like, I'm the youngest person in the, like my character is the youngest person in the party, and like I'm really out of my element, and I feel like she'd be a little bit more reckless and stuff, and we saw that in the last session. Is she tackles a guy and she jumps into battle and she raged for the first time, and she's a blood rager. Like that's she's a barbarian. Yeah, basically she's and this is the first time in the whole campaign that she's done that, and it was kind of cool to like watch her character like let her hair down, and I think when you get so caught up in like what should I be doing to really even things out, or be practical about this and stuff. Like most of the time, whenever you're caught in combat, or like your back is up against the wall, like even whatever in real life, you're not going through all those things. Sometimes they're split-second decisions, and those show your character, pun intended, those show like your character in really like visceral ways. And I think that starts with whenever you are making your character, because if you start making your character and it's all about you're so concerned about like evening out the group, then you'll just kind of wind up being this amorphous blob kind of, I'll be the, we need to play good cop, bad cop. I'll be the bad cop this time. And then, you need someone who's like sneaky. I can try and like put some levels in like in rogue, and you get a really like watered down character. But cooperation is part of the game. So there's a part, you have to take everything together as a whole system, working together, but also being individualistic and.
It's like if everyone's good at everything, then no one is a different character than that person. You want to be
all exactly the same.
Yeah, you want to be great at something.
I had 2 people that played. One of them played a monk, and another person played. I feel like it's a paladin, but that's not right. But the paladin had, instead of choosing a weapon, he chose like a steed that he had, but he did unarmed combat, and then I just wound up playing with like 2 monks. And they were just like exactly the same, and it got really boring. Like it really like kind of ruined the bunch of apples. One thing. So I was just like, man, you guys are just like, it's like mirrors, and you could even play off of that. You could even find something interesting to do with that. But they both tried to be so like individualistic, but their characters were so similar that it just wound up being like. They just wound up being like annoying, and I hate saying that word, but they both wanted to shine, but they were trying to shine in the exact same ways, so they were like still mirroring each other, even when they were trying to like stand out.
And so my question off of this question is, as a DM, if you see kind of these 2 groups, the group that isn't well rounded, they have their their weaknesses versus a group that is just kind of that amorphous blob. Obviously, I feel like you'd prefer to play with the one with the weaknesses because it gives you some more play. But if you do play with that like amorphous blob where they have everything, like as a DM, how do you go about finding like creative ways to make them struggle, or like what are some weaknesses that you can find to make the campaign more enjoyable and not just this bland everything same thing every session?
So like that was a big learning experience for me with the whole monk thing, because I learned how to answer this question, and I feel like amorphous blob doesn't give it a lot of credit because it still has like a lot of potential to be something special, even though I'm the one that said that. But every character is unique. They are because their players are unique, and putting them in really exaggerated encounters, so just really over the top things, normally lets them find something new to play with. So if I have two characters that I feel like are really similar, I will try and like put them in two different really extreme encounters to see how they play with that, and then maybe, and also their character arcs, like the kind of like arc I'm trying to build with their character. I will normally center them around something physical. This is just a tip that I've learned. Something physical, like literally their character can touch instead of like an idea, because they're like, oh, they have I don't know, they have like a mysterious pendant that they feel like draws them to something, and like there's only one of them, so the other person can't have the mysterious ancient pendant. Like only one person can, and it differentiates them. It's almost like whenever you have if you had twins, like put them in different clothing or else you'll mix them up when they're babies.
Which, funny story about twins, my cousin's neighbors, they had twins, and when they were younger, their names are Joseph and Jeffrey.
And awful. Yeah,
and one day they legitimately is when they were real young, they dressed up their kids like the same exact, and they forgot which one was which.
Yep.
And it was at the point where the kids, they weren't like toddlers, but they were small.
Yeah.
And it's like they really don't know if the kid they called Jeffrey is Joseph originally and stuff like that. So I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like that's the same thing that people do. I'll take that and run with it. People do that with characters, and they try and treat characters the same. And I can say that me getting bored with my two monks, whatever, quote unquote, was a lot on me, that I didn't find ways to bring out their uniqueness, because every character, like I said, every character is unique, and every character wants to be unique and special in that way. And I didn't realize, like, people that are unique wind up experiencing different things, and I have to simulate that, which I've wound up doing, and with great success. And that winds up not really, that's kind of like a non-issue for me now. It's one of the things that I feel like I do kind of well, is like accentuating even the most mundane parts of like a character, like there's a character that I had before that really liked a certain food that I brought up every once in a while, and not like every time they walk into the town, there's a steamed fish, and but it was like every once in a while, like it wound up kind of being I did an encounter around them, like really liking this thing, and it's I don't know, the careful eye of a DM can really it can bring out the good in almost anything, which I don't always do that, but I try to. I have a question, buddy boy. We'll probably run over our time a little bit, but I'm totes cool with that, unless you got somewhere you gotta be.
No, I'm all good in the hood.
Okay, cool beans. Because I wouldn't have let you leave anyway. What do you think about that counterspell thing? Have you ever seen that before?
I had not.
That's not my question.
That was very interesting. I did not realize that. Obviously, you have to, playing around. Obviously, your opponent using magic on you, but I didn't realize that was like a thing. Because I always thought, because in my head, I always thought, I wonder, like in combat, can you like prepare to counter like a move like with swords or something like that. I never thought past that into the realm of
fighters can fight defensively, which is sort of the fighter equivalent of this. But yeah, I don't know why I hadn't thought to give you that before, because I think because I assume, because I've read through all the books like 5 or 6 times, I'm like, well, they'll just know that tiny little, like, it is like a paragraph long, like, oh, like here's iota. This, it's like, here's counterspell, this super useful thing against fighting other mages, but like, we'll leave it in like the fine print, and it's real dumb. But I saw that I saw that at work whenever I was supposed to be working. And I was like, oh, I gotta send this to Foster because he may not know, because he hasn't counterspelled once. Yeah. But you can do that. And I was thinking of an encounter with a mage he was gonna be all about like counterspelling another mage. Like that was kind of like his deal. Yeah,
because like Uralki in combat, he doesn't see himself as being like, you know, dishing out damage or taking it. He's kind of like an outlier trying to figure out what to do, and so that would be a great way for him to, you know, now understand that he doesn't have to, you know, do damage or anything, but he can like prevent damage from happening to the people around him. So
yeah, but I think that Uralki could definitely benefit from. I think characteristically too, he like from because he's evolving now as like a person, and evolving like kind of how he interacts with like the magical world would be an interesting evolution to see too. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm just whatever. This is from. I never read the names beforehand, and they always make me laugh. Kill Blinton 77.
Kill Blinton.
Yeah, I like that. It's not that funny, but this is a DM question, but I would kind of like to hear your take on this. It is DM question: how strictly should paladins follow their code of ethics? Just out of curiosity, because a paladin is lawful good. They are lawful good. They have to be.
Right.
That is a prerequisite. So, like, how closely should a paladin follow their moral code before you're like, hey, buddy?
I think we've kind of, in one of our, like, our early episodes, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but
I'm expanding that to all the alignments.
Yeah,
now.
like characters with flaws. I know we talked about that is a deep character. You know, I am a paladin. I'm
a paladin. He's paddling.
I am a paladin, but you know, I have like a gambling problem or something like that. So I think as far as that goes, it's going to be like their backstory. If they were like, oh, I was raised in a temple and you know, this is my life. I know this. You know, backwards and forwards, then you'd expect that paladin to be, you know, to the line on their code of ethics, whatever it is, whatever deity they're following. But when it comes to, you know, because like you say, every character is unique. Every individual playing the game brings something else to it. If they have characters that, you know, kind of, you know, gray the black and white. Because I feel like a paladin's character is very black and white. That's how they see the world.
It's very that is the vast generalization of a paladin, is that they are like this. They are a religious zealot in a lot of people's eyes.
I think as a DM, if you see them start to blur that to see some gray, you can have them kind of question their following. I guess a little bit, like maybe have them have some weird kind of things with their deity. Some weird signs from there, because if their deity is like, hey man, you know, you're not on the right path, you know, get here, like they see some signs or whatever, but maybe they're kind of having that internal battle of, is what I'm doing really right kind of thing. Like the curtains have opened and you can now see into the dark room that you've been standing in, and you see all the bad stuff that might be around you.
Because where do you, because you know, they are lawful good, but like at what point does the law become evil? So it's like it's that's a crazy line to toe, and I don't think most people get that deep with it, which is a shame.
Yeah, because the deeper your character is, I feel like the more fun you're going to have, the more attached you're going to be to that character. It's going to be a version of you. You know, it's like, so this paladin, like they're bringing people into prison, and then that's their role. They bring them into prison, and then, but they don't know that under the prison is just like a torture chamber where they're trying to either get information or just, you know, they're torturing for the sake of torture.
It's like, I was just trying to clean up the streets, but it's like some terrible thing.
And so now that their eyes are open, the black and white is becoming gray, and they're trying to find their own path within that. So I think you just have to gauge your character based on kind of like off their backstory.
Backstory is super important. and which it doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah.
Like backstories, like I would take if you ever get a chance to look at the Call of Cthulhu it has a whole sheet for a backstory, but it breaks it down into sections. That's really, really intuitive, and it's just like I don't even know if they did this on purpose. They probably did, but it's like it's really well thought out, like how they laid out, and they only give you like 3 lines to write for each section. And it's like 6-7 sections for you to write in, and it's phenomenal. And I like to keep that in mind whenever I'm thinking backstories for NPCs. But I would just a real quick note, because I can't add anything really better than that, because everything you said hits the nail on the head. They made in Pathfinder and in D&D, the anti-paladin is a thing for a reason. So if you don't ever let your paladin stray away from the road that he's walking, like you're kind of breaking the potential, the potential for your character, for that player, like that, because it would be really it's a lot more interesting to see a paladin have a conflict of like religion and then shift over and be like, no, like I'm going to the dark side, and like this is right, like I was wrong this whole time, I'm gonna take a whole 180. That's super cool, and you can make it just as fun if he's like he sticks to it and it's like I'm gonna be a warrior for good. But that shift, that back and forth is also really, really fun. And don't constrain your characters and force them out of that option to like, because paladins, correct, have to be lawful good, but it's like if he's not lawful, so you should be whatever. I'm gonna summarize this. Paladins have to be lawful good. If he stops being lawful good, it isn't right for you to say, hey, you have to do the lawful good thing because you're a paladin. Remember? Say, like, you're not being lawful good. It's like, that means you're something else. That means, you could be, are you really a paladin now? Yeah. Like, can you consider yourself a paladin if you're breaking this code of ethics? Yeah. And then we may get the anti-paladin or like the semi-anti-paladin. I would love that. I'd love to see that.
Don't tell your players how to play their characters, because...
They know better than you.
Even for us, like at first you tell us, don't even fill in your what you are, like lawful good or whatever that is. Play your character and then you'll find out.
Yeah.
Like because especially for me in my head, still, lawful, evil, good, whatever. It all, I don't understand how it works. Yeah. I play how my character is.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what I am.
Normally I come back later and be like, mechanically, like
this is what you
are.
This
is kind of what it is, because there are some spells and stuff like that affect that, and that's honestly, knowing your alignment is more important for me than it is for you, because you're going to play that character whether you write down LE or NG or something like that. Like it means a whole lot less to you than it does to me.
Because like the one spell that I've cast it twice now. Every time you cast it, it says you are pulled to the evil every time. And so Uralki he's casted it twice, and kind of in my head I see that as him embracing more of a little bit of power in order to complete his holy quest that he's on, that he needs, because he knows he's not strong enough to get him and his brother where they need to go.
It is very much like you don't know the power of the dark side.
He needs to embrace that power a little bit to get them there. The ends justify the means right now in his mind.
That is a very Uralki mindset to have. And again, like having these quips and stuff like that, like I definitely encourage. Like if you have like a code that you stick by, which I wouldn't say Uralki has a code, but he definitely follows the code of the ends justify the means always, like always. And yeah, it's fun to see that development. It's fun, and the thing is, you haven't shifted from something to the ends justify means. You've just gone deeper and deeper into it, and it's cool. Honestly, I just sit back most of the time, like, when are we gonna hit the bottom of this well? Like, when is this gonna?
It's like when we do, I'm getting the pickaxe out, and we're going.
Yeah, and we're going deeper. Yeah, that's our motto for the show. Go deeper.
I feel like if you can give your characters that Batman moment of, it's like you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. If you can let your players choose. Like, am I going to, like, stand right here, draw the line in the sands, like, enough's enough? Or am I just going to, keep going and see what happens? Like, let your characters do that. And we always say, be a flexible DM. And I feel like as a DM, that's got to be awesome. Just as you're saying, is that you want to be able to just kind of sit back and be like, man, my characters, like, they know who they are and they're playing it. And that's always great.
And it is the most rewarding part of seeing like character again, like the whole Hugo thing is seeing characters actualized, and a lot of times it takes a long time. It takes a long time for you to really get to know that character, and like I said before, it's a lot of the DM's job to evoke those things, accentuate those things. So it's like with our Lionkin she has this kind of like it's not really a mentor relationship with this crusader. It's not really like a romantic relationship. It's not even really like she doesn't even really look to him for guidance. It's more of just like it's almost like a monkey see, monkey do kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where it's like he does something and she looks at that and it's like, should I do that thing or not? And she weighs it. And every once in a while she's like, hey, we got to stop that because murdering a family because basically like because like fantasy Jesus told you to is not okay. And it's cool to see because now I'm kind of at a crossroads too, and this is what's fun for me is at first I was like I want to explore that side of her like trying to find her identity, and she's finding it vicariously. And I was going to play with the idea of like, well, if you use them as a crutch, you know what happens to crutches if you lean too heavy on them, they break.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of like, she's finding her own independence. And I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, well, now that you're figuring this on your own, something terrible happens to you. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do that. Because I feel like that discourages it. And the same with like we have a war priestess, and you know she's all about finding this book, the Chronicles of Righteousness, and it's like, I find it ironic that she is, you know, her deity is neutral, like lawful neutral, like she doesn't really care about like good and evil. She just like follow the law, like do this, but. Her character is not that way, and she's looking for a book about righteousness, about good, and I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going to explore that, like how deep that will go, because it's like, you have so many like conflicting motivations here, which, again, those conflictions make a lot of cool, you know, friction starts fire, and fire is always fun to play with, so we've talked so long about this. It was a great, that was I love your responses, though. That's just the flavor I was looking for, buddy.
Mm-hmm. I got one more.
Okay. I want to talk about our podcast a little bit after this.
Yeah, we can. This could be a long one.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is gonna be a chunky one.
This is their present. Yeah. just watch us let our hair down.
Yeah. All right. Renoir Dwarf. All right. Above the Law GM Talk. In a few weeks, I'm going to be running a campaign in a setting I've been working on for about a year. The players will be a part of a legendary organization, the Watchers, that was once thought to have ceased to exist 500 years ago, after the last one of them perished in a world-spanning war. Prior to its disappearance, the Watchers had existed since the time immemorial, and had been seen as the true heroes that the world needed in order to stave off evil. Members were generally granted, for lack of better terms, diplomatic immunity, allowing them to pursue leads, arrest/kill criminals, confiscate dangerous artifacts, etc. In my head, kind of like the Avengers, you know.
Yeah.
However, the world was drastically changed by this war, and most of the old nations no longer even exist. Also, some events during the war brought to question the organization's motives and true allegiances. These events also led to a general distrust of magic and unknown forces, both of which the Watchers have in droves. Continue. There will be different levels of trust seen across different cities and nations, but none of them are going to allow them full diplomatic immunity like in the old days. If the group can prove themselves, things will likely get overlooked more often as the campaign progresses, but I'm struggling to figure out where I want to initially set the bar for some of these cities that would react favorably to the Watcher's return. How would anyone be able to offer experience with different levels of allowing characters to, quote-unquote, be above the law, and how well it's worked for you in your campaigns?
Holy guacamole. First of all, that is like almost beat per beat, like the storyline of Overwatch, like the video game. like, because what do they call the Watchers or something like that? I'm like, this is totally Overwatch. Like, this is like, to a T, the Overwatch story. So if he doesn't already know that, go like, what they have little animations and stuff that they do for some of the characters. Go watch those, and it like tells the storyline. And hopefully you'll get some time. But this is like exactly Overwatch.
Oh, I mean, it can be.
I love that game. Yeah. I love that game. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointing that. I am having a whole campaign that's basically beat for beat Bloodborne. So I steal characters flippantly because I know that you guys haven't played that game. So I'm like, oh yeah, a guy in a wheelchair named Gurman shows up, and like you guys, if you guys would have played the game, you guys would act you'd react very differently to him. I'm not telling you how you should react, but like I love doing that and be like, this guy's like, other characters, I'll be like, oh, this guy's a real piece of crap. I steal whatever. Good artists borrow, great artists steal. One of my professors told me that. I don't remember him. I don't remember his name. Ryan Ridge. Shout out to Ryan. Professor Ridge. Okay, let's actually answer the question. I didn't wind up getting to explore this too deeply in the Brackish Legacy because it wasn't as... I was going to play with the ideas of like people treating magicians or like mages badly in some places, not in other places. I was going to go deeper with that, but it became more fruitful to just troll around with Hugo and then get to see it through his eyes. So, but I mean, I think this is... You could kind of say this about any type of... this is going to wind up being really general. But, like, anytime your players do anything in a town that has any law structure at all. Because, like, maybe... I'm trying to think of, like, a good example of that. So, like, you go into a town full of wealthy elites and stuff like that, and you steal something from them. The way they handle that is probably going to be very different than if you're in a podunk town and you steal some guy's loaf of bread. In the latter, you may have a whole village after you, and they like probably aren't going to be too diplomatic about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like in a more civilized culture, they may take you to court and stuff like that. So I think this is super nerdy, but I think like brushing up a little bit on like political structures, like what an oligarchy is, and like people throw around the word anarchy a lot of times. So like, what is really an anarchy? Like, an anarchy is literally no structure, zero structure. It is a person by person basis. Even then, that's kind of being a little too diplomatic about it. So that's such a awful like homeworky like answer. But I'm like, just go to Wikipedia and type in politics and like see what pops up. But like that's the best answer I can give. Yeah. I don't have a ton of I don't have a super ton of experience of having kind of like vigilante people come in and be like, we're the heroes and like we're the justice kind of stuff, because I don't like giving my players that much power. But having people come in and like sometimes as they're, like you said with like with Uralki, he posed as a priest for a while. And then I had to look at that and be like, okay, here's a town that's plagued by like a unseen murderer. They are gossips, all of them, and it's something that even the politics of that town, the mayor and stuff like that, they see as a problem. They see like there's too many rumors getting spread around. So if a guy shows up with zero credentials, none. You probably have negative credentials, and you show up and like, I am going to exorcise this demon that you have. It's not a murder, it's actually a demon. I'm going to exorcise it. I had to sit back and I spent the whole week like, what do we do about this? And I mean, it shouldn't have taken me that long, but I'm like, no, they would totally eat that up. And that's what happened, is like, they were all about you. They were chanting with you. They were doing like motions with you and stuff. And that was fun. That was a great, like, I like that. It made the world feel really flavorful. Because even if my players don't look at that as deeply and be like, oh, that was a great, like, world tendency. Like, that was a great world tendency, because these people are really suspicious, so they would, like, be, like, more inclined to listen to a guy that says he's really religious, and, like, so, like, anyways, that's, take some time to gauge what real people do in real life, because some people get away with doing bad things because of the conditions that they are under, so that may get, that may lead you down a kind of a sad rabbit trail, but...
Yeah. I think definitely a way to look at it is, you're going to have some, most likely smaller communities who thrived from the war being over. Yeah. That are going to be more willing to allow them to kind of come in and clean up their streets. Whereas you got people who have learned to, rebuild on top of the old world that the war destroyed, who now have their own back channels and back alleys, who, maybe they make a little side profit off of something, like they're like this corrupt kind of thing, who are going to want to make sure that kind of organization stays in the dirt.
Once something dies, whether it's like an animal or even like a huge political structure, like there's always vultures. Like there's always people that hang around and they profit off of other people's
rise
misery.
right to the top.
Yep.
And so I think you're gonna maybe be able to experiment with that and just, maybe in the bigger cities where there is a more, higher power structure that just kind of maybe rose to the top quickly or is just there to snag as soon as the war was over, they're definitely going to have precautions for stuff like your party.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be very unwelcome maybe in these big major metropolis kind of cities, whereas the outlying towns where they're just doing good for the sake of good are going to be willing to let them in and that kind of thing.
You have a real great foundation for like a morality play throughout your whole like campaign, like kind of playing with that, because it sounds like that's kind of what he's playing with. But having like with a war you have the destitute. That's there's always people that really just they lose everything because especially a war that sounds this big, even from small wars there's people that wind up in destitution. So like exploring that, like when people are desperate, how much evil can they do? But also, when people are desperate, how much good can they do? And seeing that from every single like structure that they go through, like seeing like this is the evil thing can come of this is the good thing can come of this, and you get this like kind of back and forth. The dynamics of that are really fun, and I feel like that would be a good like cohesive. It's a nice little sticky thread that can run through the whole thing that can keep your players like grounded. And having themes and stuff that you can deal with, it's not like cheap. Like you can have a theme. Like my last camp, the Brackish Legacy, it was about like legacies and like what gets left behind and how you deal with that. And it didn't really come to fruition until the end when it's like the king that got assassinated is actually a necromancer that gets revived, and then his son winds up like helping cast him back into like the abyss. Like you help, like and it's like he rose above his father and he like did good in the face of evil, and there's nothing wrong with like having an overt, like even if it's overt, even if it's in the title of your campaign, like there's nothing wrong with it. It keeps people grounded. Hooray! That was a good question. We had a lot of goodies today. Okay, I want to talk about the podcast in general just a little bit. Maybe if they're not even plans, maybe if we haven't gotten that far. I want to talk about like dreams, aspirations for the future, things we're looking forward to, things we may not be looking forward to that much. Just the future of the podcast.
Our number one dream, as always, is be the first live broadcasted podcast from the moon.
Yeah, we established that from the start.
That's a given.
Can that be our dream?
Our dream from the beginning has always been to create a community where ideas and information is freely shared, as well as great ideas, pushed to the top and given, these smaller DMs and GMs who we message a lot of the times, give them some shine for being creative and making this community amazing. Yeah. And with that, we want to contact you guys. We want to be able to get some back and forth, maybe hash some ideas off each other.
Real on this last part.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten any of that. There's been a fair few of you guys, and we really appreciate it. We try and make sure to message you guys.
We don't demonize the people that don't.
No, definitely not.
That's I don't want to sound like that, because we get like, you may not have something to say. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, that is fine. You might just enjoy it for what it is, which we do appreciate that.
And it'll always be that way. Yeah. We will always, like, if we have to, keep on trolling around on Reddit, like kind of scraping barrels and stuff, we'll scrape barrels. Yeah. But it would be a lot more fun because every person that we interact with that winds up interacting with us back usually has a good time interacting with us, I will say. So, one of the guys, Govika. I thought it was okay. Yeah, we went back and forth. We answered his question about world building, and then he wound up rating us on iTunes, and like we had this like dialogue with him and stuff, and it was cool. There's a guy that like listens to us, and we have a lot more listeners, especially after October, and we're not like trying to put anybody down. We just like we're here and we're doing this for you, and we want to know what you like, and we want to talk to you because you, right now, the person who's listening to this is the reason why we do this, and we don't have to do this show. And I'm not using that to like hang it over anybody's head, but it's like there's some weeks where we're kind of discouraged. And I just kind of want to be frank at this last, but like where we get kind of discouraged and we're like, why don't people want to talk to us? And we really, really want to talk to you because obviously there's some people that are listening to this show like regularly, whether it's in Turkey or it's in like Ukraine or Vietnam or whatever. So
really harping on that bit you said that we want to know what you guys like.
Yeah.
If you enjoy us doing stuff that we did with the October series, let us know. We'll try and start to get the creative juices going and maybe have a few more of those based around kind of these holidays or something. And if there's stuff you don't like, definitely let us know too. But we want to create this show for you guys. As much as this is for us to get together and have fun talking about a game we like playing, we want it to be about you and putting something out there that you.
It was always
enjoy.
about from the very beginning. It was supposed to be about the listener, and we do that as best as we can with our Reddit questions, which I feel like that's kind of become a staple, and we'd probably never stop doing that. But like this week, we were like we didn't find any like good like show worthy questions, and which was convenient because we're doing something different. But like, we've been doing this for almost a year now, and we're really thankful for every single listener that we see, but we want it to keep growing. I don't think that's like a selfish thing to say. We want to keep on doing this, and we want to keep on doing it well. And we can only do that if we hear from the people that are listening to us, because it is kind of an echo chamber right now. It's kind of just me and you. And like my brother will comment every once in a while.
Because we have dreams of potentially in the future doing some live shows in front of you guys, allowing for some right there questions.
But we just don't know if it's like
feasible right now. We just want to know that you guys not only are listening but are wanting to, kind of get involved.
Yeah. Man, you mentioned live shows. That is my aspiration. I have a couple. I want to really hit hard on sponsorships. I want to try and do that real bad because it will be a really easy way to help grow the show. Better equipment, better software, editing will be easier. Maybe like if we had a little bit bigger of a budget, we could do like giveaways and stuff like that. But the other big thing is I really want to do a live show. I really, really want to like, and not just, I don't want to just like do it. I want to know that like, I want to be pretty certain that there's people going to show up. I want other people to want a live show too, because like I don't see any of the people that are listening to this, and I really want that one-on-one interaction. Like that's my big call to action is like we won't be able to do these things and like because if the majority of people just want to listen to the show as it is, I'll just keep on doing that. I don't care like. We've done it for a year now. We can keep on doing it. Like the ball's already rolling. Like it doesn't take too much like effort to keep that momentum going. But we want to roll faster and bigger and snowball into something huge that we can't handle anymore. So yeah, that's I really want a lot more community engagement, and I'll be constantly thinking of new ways to try and do that. Maybe it's more live streams, which we only have one person watching, but that's whatever. That's about as many as we had for the October series, and that wound up being our like best thing. So, anyways, yeah, that's my hopes for the future. That's my dreams. Things I'm not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to my laptop dying, which it will here soon. It will. And I will have to buy a new laptop. Not looking forward to that. But that's really the only thing that I'm not looking forward to. Is there anything like you don't want to do again that we did this past year?
Record out of a closet.
That's what we did. Yeah. I never want to do that again. I promise you we will never do that again.
For a month, we were in a 2.5 foot by 5 foot closet, blankets hung up to try and get a little better audio quality. Me and you crammed right next to each other.
It was hot.
Sweating our balls off.
So hot in there.
And
and the audio was still
And
terrible.
a lamp that was another source of heat that just baked us. And, but man, I have to say that was as bad as it was, and I'm never gonna do it again. That was, it's that's our origin story.
It was very humble beginnings.
No one rises from piles of gold.
No,
you always rise from the ashes. You know.
Yeah. That's about as low as we could get. Yeah. That was I don't know. That was. It was fun looking back on. It was not fun. Mm-hmm. It was kind of fun in the moment, but I don't know. Now I'm gonna flip flop that. It was kind of fun in the moment. It's not fun looking back on it. I'll take a 180 on that. I don't ever want to do that again. That was bad. That was not fun. That was not good. Do you have anything else you want to say? That was kind of whatever. We just kind of want to have a little chat, just kind of talk. We published every single week for almost a year now. I feel like we get a chance to let our hair down and not edit an episode.
Yeah. Just give us some feedback. It's all we're really looking for. Leave us a review, a rating, or just comment on an episode.
Yeah.
Send us a tweet,
Yeah, tweet us. I'm always on Twitter.
Everyone's got 240 characters. If you want to use 140, if you want to use 20, just a little something.
We get a little bit of interaction with people, but we want to do more. Mm-hmm. That's why Dingus Day kind of turned out different than what we thought.
But at the same time, if us wanting more is a little too much right now, and you guys just want the same of what we're doing, let us know. That's what the feedback is for. So if we're just doing what you guys enjoy, let us know. We'll just keep on.
Yeah, we are here for your entertainment. So if we're doing something that will keep you entertained, then just let us keep doing that. Do we have anything else? I'll stop it, and then we'll do the intro, and then kind of whatever little outro. I think just plugging our stuff.
I think I'm
good. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and stop Audacity and then start it back up.
Yeah, because we use free software.
Yeah. We'll do the outro and then.
Okay.
Foster Grant, we basically said the stuff that we normally do in an outro, but if people wanted to contact us, where can they do those things?
Yeah, they can tweet at us at the Hordecast on Twitter. They can shoot us an email, thedragonshordecast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Or they can post on our very, very lonely Reddit page, The Dragon's Hordecast.
Correct.
And so just let us know. Odds are, if you've gotten a message from me or Andrew from our Reddit page, we want you to post to our Reddit page.
That's the rule. That is.
We enjoy that. Especially letting us know how your stuff turns out. If you got pictures or stuff like that.
Follow-ups are cool.
Follow-ups are always cool. We love to shout out the follow-ups. We've had Govika follow-up, the real Jesse Martin. Throwback to Dave Amon and PF David. These guys, they
were staples of the show for a reason.
And just because they were follow-ups, and we love to include those. So, get on it.
Yes.
We love hearing from you guys, so keep at it.
Also, if you are so inclined, you can feel free to stop by our Patreon at patreon.com/the Hordecast. I always want to say the Dragon's Horde. It's the Hordecast. It's our Twitter. We have a couple different tiers that you can contribute at. We are not asking for enormous sums of money by any means. It is a very much give what you can, or more give what you want kind of system. Our highest tier is, I think it's $20 or something like that. And we'll if you want to have a personal ad and you want to put it on the show, we'll get your ad out there. But I mean, for sure you'll get a shout out on the show. You'll get a thank you from us, a personal message and something like that. But yeah, that's our Patreon. I don't like pushing that too hard because it's not about the money. But if you are feeling generous in the Dingus Day season, we really, really appreciate any support that we get. Also, we have a home on the web that is very dear to my heart, and I want to hear all about it from you.
highlevelgames.ca. High level games.
Well, your party come on, and now they know it's you. Oh no! Our secret's out.
Yeah, that's our home base. You can find all of our episodes on there, and also some great other content. There's a lot of articles. One that our
so
dear Andrew has himself written, as far as many others that are on there. They're great resources for you guys, as well as awesome podcasts.
Great podcasts.
The Star Trek series for them is taking off, and it is a professionally put together audio drama just for you guys, as well as
John Dragons.
Leveling Up.
They have just like a high level games like podcast, like a thing, like a name brand, whatever. They also have like they stream on Twitch, the Inept Gamer and stuff like that. Quinn plays on that. So I mean, there's so many. It's a multimedia, multifaceted machine that runs for some reason. For some reason, it runs, and it's great. It's just fantastic. Happy Dingus Day, everybody.
Happy Dingus Day.
Happy. What? All right, and now the intro. It's gonna be
just freelance.
It is gonna be our Christmas theme.
Oh, okay.
So.
Man, I liked having time to like read out those long ones because some of those long ones are really.
They are good.
Really good.
It just takes up so much time. Let me see if I have it in here. Under my songs. Nope. Nobody. Nope. Create a document. Let me pull that just for a little bit of inspiration. I don't think I'm gonna do a recap. I may just be like, it's the Dingus Day season.
Yeah.
I'm back. We're still live streaming though. And still one person.
We're back!
We're back. Okay. Here we go.
It'd be funny if it was like you or me the entire time.
It probably is. This is the finalized.
I forgot about my poem I wrote.
Your poem? Oh yeah. Your poem was pretty good.
The only word I can think of that rhymes is dancer.
I'm excited for that one. All right. Things are loading for sure. Continue. All right.
I'm just gonna ad lib.
Huh.
Check me out.
I may be gone. Oh, I don't want to use.
We wish you a merry dingus. We wish you a merry dingus. We wish you a merry dingus.
Nope. Well, now I'm real worried. My songs. Let's see them. Favorites, maybe?
Stay, it's that time of year to stuff your food, stuff your belly
Stuff
with
your food.
and a ton of beer.
iCloud Drive, maybe. Oh no. This could be so... Oh, Dingus Day.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. I was about to
heart attack.
lose my mind. It's like I worked so hard. I don't want to do all that again. That's what I sound like when I'm upset. Hey, you one person. You're about to get a sneak peek into our Christmas... Dingus Day. Dingus Day, not Christmas. I changed like some of the levels on, so it wasn't big.
They're just like original song.
It's killer.
Yeah, man.
There's so much you can do with it too. There's so like it's so easy to like chop and splice and then. Okay. So I don't know how well I'll be able to edit that, just because there's some stuff in there that's like I can't make it too long or too short.
Okay. So how do you want to do this?
So I think we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 4 seconds across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 segments, so we have 36 seconds to kind of do stuff. To say, and then we'll have a little bit beforehand where that'll play. So we're at the...
So we got about 40 seconds to get this in and out.
36 seconds, and then I think we'll do that much, and then we'll jump in there. So that is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 24 seconds. So
to do our intro?
Yeah.
Okay. So, nothing too long-winded?
Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to, let's go back and mute these so I can track the seconds exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 24 seconds.
Let's say start at 5. Start at 5.
Start at 0. What do you mean start at 5?
That way we have 5 seconds to get ready and then go.
Oh.
Like,
what?
What are we doing?
What are you doing?
We're doing the intro, right?
Yeah, we're doing the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You were just going to start right off the... Like, as soon as you click, you're going to start talking? Is what you're going to do?
Oh, I was going to get some room tone, like we normally do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think I'll...
I
think I'll start like 2.
I thought, okay, 10, okay. No, I thought...
2?
2? What is it?
2 seconds.
You do the first part anyway.
I know. Okay. I'm really confused as to what the problem is here.
There's not a problem.
Are you sure? That reminds me of what's wrong with your freaking brain, man. What's going on? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You sure?
No.
Welcome to the only Dingus Day podcast about Dingus Day dragons stealing from Dingus... Ooh. This one's gonna be fun. Welcome to the only Dingus Day podcast about Dingus Day dragons stealing Dingus Day ideas from made-up Dingus Day fantasy roleplayers. My Dingus name is Andrew Pendragon.
And my Dingus name is Foster Grant. Today, we're delving to the Dingus depths of the Dingus Dragon's Lair, looking for Dingus lost treasures submitted by you, the Dingus listeners.
Merry Dingus Day, everybody. That's a way more than 24 seconds. We may have to cut back on the dinguses on that one.
You always throw something at me like that, and I have to just like, oh god, where am I going to say dingus?
That was like 36 seconds. That was way too long.
Yeah.
Maybe just...
and we only got through half of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the bang, though. I'm not going to do that. There's a thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Are you going to do like what we did in the episode? Or are we just going to do welcome?
I was just going to I was going to do like a
just,
Merry Dingus Day.
Okay, that's fine.
Something. I'm going to cut out all the other Dingus Days so we get actually words in there. Welcome to the only podcast about made-up dragons stealing some made-up ideas from some made-up fantasy role players. My name's Andrew Pendragon.
And my name's Foster Grant. Today, we're delving into the depths of the Dragon's Lair, looking for lost treasures submitted by you, the listeners.
I gotta think about what I want to say now. Because it's not going to be like our usual thing. It's so hard to break the formula.
Merry Dingus Day, everyone. Get your figurines and your fruit ready.
How about you do your thing, and then I'll say, I could say, just like...
Today we let our hair down in an extended Dingus Day episode.
I think that's too long, actually. I think it's because we're hitting like 28 seconds right now. We're hitting like...
So the whole thing has to be 24 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a little bit of wiggle room, just a tiny bit. So I'm thinking, what if you do your thing?
I can speed up when I say the first part.
You can say... Do like you did, and then I'm gonna say, I can say like, no dragons today. It's a holiday.
And I'll just say this is the Dragon's Horde. You can have the small little one-liner, and I'll just slip.
Well,
in.
yeah. Why don't you say like? Yeah. So I'll say. No dragons today, Foster. It's a holiday, and then you say, "Merry Dingus Day" from the Dragon's Horde.
Okay.
Or Happy Dingus Day, or whatever the thing is to say. Okay, ready?
Jolly Dingus Day.
Welcome to the only podcast about made-up dragons stealing some made-up ideas from some made-up fantasy role players. My name's Andrew Pendragon.
My name's Foster Grant. Today, we are delving into the depths of the Dragon's Lair, looking for lost treasure submitted by you, the listener.
No dragons today, Foster. It's a holiday.
Merry Dingus from the Dragon's Horde. I paused. I said that so weird. I was
You could do it. Yeah.
Merry Dingus Day. This is the easiest part. Happy Dingus Day from the Dragon's Horde.
There you go.
Happy just felt better.
Yeah, I think Happy Dingus Day sounds a little bit better. All right, there's that. Thanks for all the one person that watched this.
Man.
You're
And
the
if
real
it's one
MVP.
of-
It might be Quinn still.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that took us so long to do our outro. See y'all. Oh, this is gonna go up on our YouTube page. Goodbye. It's over. I don't know how you're supposed to end live streams.
You just closed out?
Bye-bye. I don't know. Bye-bye. How do you end this?
I think with a jingle and a jam.
Jingle and a jam. How about just...
And a holiday ham.
That was pretty good.
Jingle and a jam with a holiday ham. Bah.
I'm still figuring out. That would have been a good
Are we
place
still
to
going?
end. Yep.